introduce my guy, Mr. Protect the Shield. Welcome to the show.
What's up, King? How you doing, man? It's always a pleasure
Doing
to
well, sir.
collab with you, man.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I love it. And for the first time, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a nice warm welcome to the Raider Rundown.
Man, how you doing, man? I appreciate you, OG, for having me on, man. Can't wait to bring energy, man, and excited to be on here for the first time.
Awesome. Awesome, gentlemen. So, yeah, you know me, man. I like to jump right on into it. We won't get into the roster or anything just yet, but let's talk about that last game, man, because I think we kind of needed that slap and, smack back to reality, kind of, if you will, that we not as deep as we kind of need to be in order to win this thing. What y'all thoughts on that?
I'll let my man go first.
Yeah, I agree, man. It was eye opening, man. It was something that I think we needed. We needed to get that chin check, man, because I know a lot of us really felt overly joyous about kind of what we had going on. But we needed that. We're not we got exposed by Will Grier.
Right.
It was nasty work, man. So
yes.
But again, we understand it was preseason, but we weren't saying that when we was kicking butt, so we got to keep that same energy. So but like I said, we needed it, man.
Right. Yep. Nope. I agree, man. I couldn't agree with you more. Go on ahead, boss.
Yeah, so for me, I think it's kind of funny because now we can kind of stop the Raider fan talk as like, oh, we're undefeated in the preseason. So like, what does that mean? That's what everybody likes to throw around when we like to feel good about the preseason. But at the end of the day, I definitely agree with you that we definitely needed that little shot in the mouth. You know what I mean? Something to make us be like, okay, pump your brakes, humble yourself a little bit before Denver comes around. And now we get to see what our heavy rotational and depth pieces look like. So now it's time to really hone in on our weaknesses, before that week one and the rest of the season comes. So I think this is good for the team. Even for the starters that weren't playing, they got to see just a little some of what the coverage and the scheme might look like if it breaks down. You know what I mean? Something like that. So I think it was a lesson for everybody to take from that, for real.
Absolutely. And what I like to make sure that people understand and explain, for one, first and foremost, and I'm going to keep preaching this for a while, these preseason games actually really do matter. They may not matter to you as the fan, right? As the, record and if we're going to get to the playoffs or not. But the bottom line is that roster goes from 90 plus to 53. That means you're losing 40 guys that no longer can feed their family.
Yep.
So trust me, they might be out there and, probably not going to make the squad, but please believe, man, they're trying to showcase their talents. They're trying to get on somewhere else, if not the team that they're playing for, man. So these games count. They matter. And the last but not least, what I love to bring up, which people don't want to understand, is you're only as strong as your weakest link.
That's a fact.
Think about it.
It's a fact.
These guys that are playing in these preseason games, I can guarantee you they will get playing time during the season. They will get snaps. They will get reps. And
one injury away, man. They're one injury away.
Yep.
Yes. So if they're not cutting it, and if we're not, doing right with our third stringers, I don't care who they're playing. They could have had their whole first string in. I could care less about that. We need the depth. We need to have the ability for that next man up to hit the ground running, so that way we don't lose too much of a beat, right? I mean, come on. We know we're not going to replace a Devontae Adams. We're not going to replace a Garoppolo, right? Any of your superstars, your Josh Jacobs. But bottom line is that next man can't be too far of a fall off because you're only as strong as your weakest link. So,
for sure.
I agree.
Yeah.
Speaking of, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just one thing that really, I just feel like we lack that physicality that we had like the first two games, man. It was, we just we was flying around, we was flying to the ball, we was hitting, but just as I was watching it, it just had a whole different feel to it, man. I mean, our D line was dominating the other two games. It was good to see the youngin out there. The youngin was doing his thing. As far as
Tyree Wilson,
as far as showing pure power, of course he gotta, he has to work on some just techniques and just kind of understanding, contain and all that stuff. But he'll get that. But it was good to see that. But overall, I was just underwhelmed, man. They made Will Grier look like Troy Aikman. It was bad.
Totally disappointed from the very first snap. I'm gonna be honest, and it's exactly what you said. There was no life out there. I mean, the only thing I can think contributed to this is the fact that guys are still, in the playbook, if you will.
Yeah,
that's what it looked like. It showed, right? Those first two games, as you stated, we're flying around. That happens when you're not thinking, when you're starting to mesh, when you're starting to, create that camaraderie with your boys and being able to have that trust on what people are going to do. We didn't see that in that last game. And that's why it was concerning to me, because again, you need that from top to bottom. You can't just have it in the first and second string team. You need that in all three phases. So
if I can,
it was a little disheartening.
You definitely said something real interesting, like, thinking and like they're still in the playbook. And we see from the 53-man cuts that we probably going to talk about, like the dudes who were cut seemed like they were thinking on the field. You know what I mean? And it was too much going on. Like they weren't just playing free. And we saw when our first string, our second strings was out there, it looked a little different. The energy felt a little different because it seems like they pretty much know their assignments, where they're supposed to be. You know what I mean? So we're hoping we can get that from our depth. But like you guys were saying, we're going to need that from our depth because, we know how a full 17-game season goes. At some point, you're going to need everybody on the roster at some point.
Absolutely.
So, you're hoping
Absolutely.
that we're on the same page.
Yep, absolutely right. Absolutely right. I don't see us, I don't see us getting far with our third string the way it sits right now. I think we definitely will benefit from another round, right? Clearly we'll benefit from another great round of a draft, as well as we'll be able to continue to shed some of the terrible contracts that still exist. I think I just read or saw somewhere that we're still paying the old running back Drake. We're still paying. He hasn't been on the team for 2 years.
Yeah. I still think we're still paying him. We're still paying actually no.
We're still paying Corey Littleton. I know that.
Yeah, so okay. Yeah, so we're paying Littleton, we're paying Drake, we're paying Joyner.
Joyner too.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And that's again, see, and this is the thing that a lot of your just typical fans don't comprehend. You are not going to have next man up with these kind of contracts on your roster. And that's why it was very important and imperative for us to make this proper deal with Jacobs, because there's no room for error. I mean, the work we're doing right now, one mistake in the front office and it can set us back again. And when I say set us back, it's for a long time.
Oh yeah.
We are feeling the effects of these terrible roster moves, and it's going to be here for a long time to come. You see the Bears just let go of our first round
Leatherwood.
Okay.
And then you see that Abrams got cut today.
Lynn Bowden got cut today.
Yeah, so it's like, these are all people that, we took time to scout, we invested draft capital and
top 3 rounds.
Yeah, and not only do they
top 3.
Yeah, and then for you can't forget about what Tanner Muse and all them do. It's like, these are people that we, while other teams are getting better and building, a foundation, we literally got people that even other teams don't want.
Exactly.
Not only they're not working for us, but even other teams are like, nah, we good.
Exactly.
Yep. Basically throwing darts with a blindfold on, man.
Right.
That's what Gruden and Mayock did. They became fanboys of their own, you know what I'm saying, of their own players, if you will, as far as the draft was concerned. Probably clearly listened to the wrong people for whatever reason. But we're still paying for that. And we're going to still pay for that for a few more years, which is why we need another draft class just to get the foundation right.
Yeah.
And again, these expectations need to be, garnished properly. I don't think Raider fan, you got to take steps at this, man. No one's going to win this overnight like the Rams did. The Rams were built differently. And they had the chance to add those little pieces. You know what I'm saying? That made all the big differences to get that one chip. But we see what they're dealing with now. They won't win it. They won't have another regular season. I mean, a winning regular season for the next decade.
Yeah, the problem with the Rams is that although, you know, just like in life, if you try to get to the quick money, it don't always last. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they got a ring, but their whole roster isn't sustainable. It can't last. Same thing with Tampa Bay, you know, same thing with sort of them type of teams who are going all in. At the end of the day, you have to win in your window. And if you don't, which is a small window because you have a lot of veteran players on big contracts, you're not going to be able to build for the future. And you're giving up hella draft picks as well. You know, just the Raiders drafting has just been horrid for the past, I don't know, up 10 years, whatever the case is. So we're finally getting through to that. But I mean, just these last 2 years with Gruden and Mayock, although I have my thoughts about that, I blame more Gruden than I do Mayock at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, you know, because he had all the power, he had most of the power. We can't fool ourselves and say, oh yeah, Mayock had a, you know, fair say-so in that. He probably didn't. You know what I mean? Most of it was like these early rounds, Gruden was going to do what he wanted to do, and then the later rounds, Mayock get to pick his slim pickings. But at the end of the day, they both set us back for years to come. So we're seeing this regime finally do smart business moves and putting us in the right positions to win, not only on the field, but off the field as well.
Yeah, no, I agree 1,000%.
And the other thing I like is, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying that
go ahead,
you know, I agree 1,000%. I think that, you know, the biggest thing was you know, when you look at those draft classes, like honestly, like that's why I don't like all the hate on McDaniels and Ziegler, you know, because, you know, you got to look at what they had to work with. Now, granted, they did have Devontae, you know, they had some good toys, but we had no depth after that because the last probably 6 or 7 draft was terrible. So,
they all were
terrible. Yeah, so it's like we didn't have nothing beyond just those few little toys that you can dangle. So that's why I hate the whole notion that everybody's like, oh, well, McDaniels took a playoff team and, you know, made them terrible. I can't stand that rhetoric because, for one, you know, many people understand how I feel about that 2021 team. You know, like if it wasn't for COVID, we're not getting into the playoffs. Granted, you know, they came together, but that team was not a good team. I don't care what nobody says.
It wasn't.
You know,
so, no, you're right. You're right.
And to build on what my man is saying, I see somebody in the comments are saying, do you think the franchise has been set back because of that draft class? I mean, when you really think about it, to build on your point first, when you're talking about that season that the Raiders made the playoffs, I kind of look at them as a house with no foundation. At the end of the day, the house, like, you know, everything looks cool, but it don't have the foundation to be a sustaining, long, you know, lasting house. You know what I mean? Like it just looks fancy, but all the appliances aren't working how they're supposed to because we don't have everything in place. Now, we had to strip it down kind of for us to put decent and proper foundation into it. So did it set us back? Yes, but at the end of the day, you know, time will tell. But at least the owner, I mean, whatever happened with the Raiders, this was our chance now to finally get people in here that said, okay, we have to actually build a foundation for us to be successful. Because if we don't, then it's just going to be the same formula the Raiders have been doing for years and years and years.
Yep. And that's part of our fans' issues. We've been dealing and doing the same thing for 20 years. We don't comprehend what competency looks like. We just don't get it. We want to hit, we want home runs. We want people, and I mean, just people in general are very unrealistic. For whatever reason, somebody thinks that Mahomes is about to be drafted in the next decade. And I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. It's not going to happen. Even this kid from USC coming. I mean, he may be the best thing since sliced bread, but I'm just trying to get your expectations in order, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
You are witnessing a dude in Patrick Mahomes that we are just not going to see in a long time. I don't know any other way to put that.
People hate what I say about Mahomes, man. Like, honestly, as crazy as it sounds, man, I truly think the dude is trending to be the best ever, man. And I don't feel bad about it, man. I mean, like when you really talk about
he's got to win a couple more for me to say that.
No, I mean he does, but it's one of those things that it's pure ability, man.
He's got plenty of time. I mean, if you're looking at what he's doing compared to the people in the past, it's just a matter of time. I mean, he's doing all the right things. See, he's allowing them to build the team properly. He's not taking max contracts that mess up your roster. He's doing things that's smart, and that's another part of what has to happen in order for things to go in your direction. Right. Everybody can't get a max contract, right? I mean, let's keep it real. Let's look at the teams that are doing this stuff smart right now. In my opinion, I think the top two teams are the Eagles and the 49ers when it comes to front office. I kind of feel good.
And Steelers always.
Steelers is another good one. The 49ers are the thing right now, though.
Right.
They haven't built their roster how they're supposed to on the offensive side of the ball, but it is what it is.
Right. And who else built their team fabulously but missed the window, in my opinion, which is why they have this disgruntled player, is Buffalo. Buffalo missed the window. They should have won 2 chips already with this team they had, and they blew it, in my opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong.
People get mad at me when I say that, but I'm like, okay, if you're gonna,
they ran into a Mahomes.
That's what I was. And not only that, they ran into Joe Burrow too. They ran into Joe Burrow, bro.
So I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, even with theirs. Because at the end of the day, I say this about Josh Allen, Justin Herbert. I'm like, you can't really put those guys above Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow because they can't beat those guys. That's the only shit. I don't put them above guys they can't beat. So at the end of the day, once they beat those guys, then we can have that conversation. But you're definitely right. Buffalo did miss their window.
I think they did. And the other smart thing I think we are doing what all smart teams should be doing, which is building to win your division, right? And I mean by any means necessary and whatever that looks like. Once again, I'll say it again. I don't think we're trying to find the next Mahomes.
No.
We don't need the next Mahomes. We just need a competent quarterback. We just need somebody that's not going to turn the ball over and run the offense properly.
That's it.
The running game and our skill positions will take care of everything else. And we want to keep the ball away from the Justin Herberts, the Patrick Mahomes, and the Will Russell. We don't want them to have the ball. So, I mean, that's the type of stuff we should be doing. We shouldn't be looking to try to score tit for tat with them. It's just not going to work. You're talking about an all-time great in the making right now. I mean, no one's going to argue that Patrick Mahomes probably is going to be the best of all time. I mean, if everybody made us bet today, I think we're all going to go with the fact that he's probably going to get more chips if they keep going the direction they're going as Brady. 7, that's going to be tough. He's got 2 now, right? But I mean, look how old he is.
He's a baby.
He's got another 20 years compared to Brady?
Man, yeah.
And he's not going to
got another 12.
Well, then again, his play style.
And he's going to be better. Yeah, he's going to be better off than Brady.
I don't think his play style will have to play as long as Brady. He plays different than Brady do. Like he plays more physical than Brady does. And he puts his body on the line more. So that might shave a couple years off. But if he keeps going the way he's going, and then you got to think about this. The whole time he's been in Kansas City, he's had Tyreek, but at the end of the day, now we're looking at them now. How long will Travis Kelce continue his dominance too? That's the next thing. Because they do not have a number 1 receiver. I mean, they never really did, to be honest. But at the end of the day,
right.
I think, Travis Kelce has to continue his dominance for him to continue that as well.
They'll plug and play that. They're going to plug and play all these players because they just can. They have the best offensive mind to ever be in a football team, and Andy Reid. So they're not going to have problems with that. And I'll tell you right now, I don't see it being that big of an issue for them to replace Kelce. I know people are going to call me crazy and all, but the bottom line is,
I don't know about that.
The bottom line is Kelce is going anyways. You know why Kelce is going? Kelce is going because of the same reason Tyreek Hill is going. A, they already got their chips, and B, they want bread.
Oh yeah,
Kelsey has been also taking a little bit less off the top in order for this machine to keep rolling.
yeah.
He's gonna want that max contract while he can still get it, and that's coming sooner than later, a whole lot sooner than later. So I don't see him being around much longer either.
The Chiefs have a big problem on their hands though right now without Chris Jones. I'll tell you that. I mean, and the offense is what the offense is. At the end of the day, it's like if you gonna put it in basketball terms, Kobe was gonna get his points. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they're gonna get their points. But that defense was already kind of suspect to begin with. They were cool situationally, but now without Chris Jones, what type of pressure are they going to be able to generate without blitzing? Because they love to blitz, but that it was big for them to get that pressure with the 4-man with Chris Jones. If they can't do that, then it's going to be real scary.
Yeah, they're gonna have to solve that. There's no question about it.
Neil Farrell Jr. ain't plugging it. I don't know what they thought. But that's not doing
it. He's not gonna cut it. I agree. He's not gonna cut it at all.
I mean, but the thing with the Chiefs, so like I said, I think Mahomes is such a special player. And again, that marriage with Andy Reid, it's gonna be tough. They're at the point where they're just gonna win shutout. Or I mean, they're gonna win shootouts. And
that's where I see the Chris thing kind of not even having much of a right, because if you try to have a shootout with them, you're going to lose.
Right. And the thing
is, I know, proven that.
Yeah, and me and you always talked about the best way to beat Mahomes is controlling the clock and lowering the amount of possessions he gets. So and I think that's why I was so strong with the JJ thing, because we need someone that can really help us move the chains, take that time of possession away from Mahomes. Because if you just flat out just do a shootout with Mahomes, a lot of times he's gonna win regardless of how good your defense is, man. I've seen him carve up the best defenses.
There are ways to beat him without it being a shutout. I mean, at the end of the day, when you really watch, who's their closest games been with? You look at the Bengals games, they played those. Those haven't been super high scoring games when they played the Bengals. But at the end of the day, it's more of like good defense, like you guys are saying, keeping the ball away from them. But with them, it's about, it's pretty much every game, but especially with the Chiefs, you have to be better than them in the red zone. That's just what it is. And that's why the Raiders consistently get killed by the Chiefs every time we play them, because they're better than us in the red zone consistently.
That was Carr, man. That was all Carr.
Field goal. While they're getting touchdown, the 4-point swing is going to continuously kill us. And until we get that fact together, they're going to continuously beat us.
I agree. I totally agree. Yeah, I couldn't agree with that point more. And when it comes to this controlling the ball, we got JJ back. Yep, happy about that. But you know what? I gotta come clean, man. I gotta come clean, Chris.
Let me hear it, man. Let me hear it.
Zeus is not looking so hot to me, man.
There we go.
You don't have
I've been trying to tell you, big bro.
We don't have no wiggle.
I've been trying to tell you, big bro.
I just didn't want to.
You ain't want to accept it, man. I didn't want to accept it. I've been trying to tell you, man.
Yeah.
And what really opened my eyes, what really just made it just outshine, like the fact that he really does not have any wiggle, is Williams. Yes, Williams. Yeah. Williams came in and looked like a starter, and like he's been on the squad since the beginning of camp.
That's what I'm saying.
So that's where I'm confused right now. I'm a little confused when it comes to that. And we'll get back to that topic, right, when we start discussing, the waivers and the releases. But I'm not a fan of the fact that we let Williams go, and that man just hit the ground running and looked outstanding. Zeus would have never found that hole. I'm just keeping it 100.
That's what I'm saying, man.
And again, that's where I say, hey, man, I'm going to give you your props. Come clean, because I was one of the first to, thinking that he'd be able to do something for us and he'll be able to get the production and Nope, it's not going to happen. Nope. And now that we don't have Sincere, right, because he was the only other guy that, in my opinion.
Wait, did we cut him?
Yeah, they cut Sincere.
Yeah, he gone.
They waived him.
He gone.
They waived him. So Amir Abdullah made it. That's your scat at.
Oh no, I knew he was gonna make it, but
he's the third down back. They love
Brandon
him.
Bolden made it.
It's that daggone Brandon Bolden. That
but I keep telling you why Brandon Bolden makes it.
Man, I'm not buying that, man. He got some pictures of somebody, man. He got some blackmail pictures.
I agree, but he's the best pass blocker on the team, and he's a special teams captain. So they was gonna keep him.
That's not enough.
You hit it right on the head. You hit it right on the head. Special teams.
Yeah, it's not enough. I mean, no, not really to us. Not to
I mean, okay, but look, okay. So we talking about what he does on special teams,
right?
But we know he's not actually returning. So he's like what, a gunner or something? I mean, what is he? I mean, honestly, whatever he does is something that what's his name, Palomal can do.
They kept him though.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, whatever they got him doing, someone like Palomal or Teamer or whatever, one of them cats can do it, man. Like I just don't like.
Look,
because they kept Teamer too, I think, right?
No,
I didn't see him on the
list.
Teamer still, they kept that. That's what I'm saying. Like they got people like that can do the same type of role, but like don't keep Bolden. For one, he's making. I mean, I know it's not a lot of money, but like when you really got to nitpick at the salary cap, that $2 million,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like that $2 million can mean something, man.
Yeah,
honestly,
I mean, it adds up.
Yeah, it does add up. And I mean, if we still talking about Zeus, I mean, although I think it was a little pride involved too, because I mean they just drafted him the year before, so they're like, okay, maybe we can keep on to him. But you just got rid of Neil Farrell Jr. So then it's like, all right, well, he wasn't performing well, so it wasn't like a pride thing where you're like, okay, well, let's keep our guys for 2 years. You got rid of a couple guys that you drafted 2 years ago. And just from a running back standpoint, I feel like we've all been around football to a capacity where it's just more than just being a fan. At the end of the day, when you see a running back has a certain skill set, more times than not, they're not really adding to that skill set, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like we see
you are who you are.
He don't have no wiggle, you feel, especially at running back. If you don't see no wiggle from the jump, there's not much he can add to his game to make it be like, oh my God, like that's a complete shift from year 1 to year 2. Like we know from year 1, we knew what Jacobs was. Like he showed that year 1. From Zamir's first opportunity, we saw he don't have the type of wiggle that we're used to seeing.
That's right.
No shiftiness at all. No shifty.
And the thing that I've been saying about Zeus is, like when you really look at Zeus, everyone's like, oh, he could develop into this, he could develop into that. But as we know, running backs don't have a long shelf life. We all know that. So like if you don't pick this stuff up quickly, like honestly, like I gave him a freebie year 1. But like if you don't pick this, like that's why like I was like, okay, Terrence could be right because he may hit the ground running year 2. So I'm like, and we both like he had more faith in him than I did, but I'm like, this has to be the year for him, because if you still ain't showing that progress in year 2, by year 3, you're almost considered a veteran at that point, man.
Exactly.
So
I mean, I don't know. Next year he probably. But this is what I'm saying, right? You're giving. I don't even want to think that far ahead, but my mind always plays devil advocate in future. I hope they are not sitting there and saying, okay, we're giving Jacobs a 1-year deal. Maybe Zamir will get it in year 3, because that's not happening. You know what I mean? Like that's just not happening.
Well, the number one thing we gotta make sure that we account for when it comes to the running back position, which is where it really solidifies the fact that he's just not it, and it's a little sad because it's probably been this way his whole career, but he's just been such a natural athletic, monster. He's done well.
Yeah.
Right. But bottom line, we all know that running back is instinctual. Period.
Yes.
Period. It's all instinctual. Yes. There is no such thing as picking it up as a running back. The only thing you're picking up is not thinking about what you're supposed to do.
There you go.
And he's way past that. He's still having troubles blocking. He even himself admitted that he's not that great of a pass catcher. Like it's time to start moving on from Zeus from that perspective.
No, continue. My bad. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, I was just gonna say that's why I was so high on Sincere. He's not explosive. He's not,
he has
anything
natural
remotely
instinct,
close.
though.
Yeah,
He's got natural instincts. He's got
Yeah.
wiggle. He's shifty, and he can get those yards just like Zeus. I mean, if you've noticed, very rarely did you see him going backwards.
Oh no,
You know what I'm saying?
No,
Sincere always moved forward. So I started to like him more than Zeus, and in fact, I think you've heard me say that I'd much rather.
Oh yeah, no, you like
Sincere is 1 and 2.
You know, your real guy was Walter. Actually, you like all the young dogs because you like Britton Brown too.
I think there's a reason they keep holding on to him, bro. There's a reason
they're stashing him.
Same thing with Walter, bro. Same thing with Walter,
Murray, bro. I mean, Britton Brown reminded me of Latavius Murray a little bit, and I liked Latavius Murray. I was a fan.
Yep.
I didn't see too much. I can see that. Me personally,
he was cool, bro. Latavius was cool. I mean,
I liked Latavius. I'm saying Britton Brown. I ain't see too much.
No.
I know. I like Latavius.
He was hard, bro. He was hard.
I'm telling you right now, Walter. He played every down like he was trying to take his lunch money. I'm telling you, and that's why they kept him around.
I like backs like
and
that.
again, he was a special teams dude that let it all hang. And in fact, I told you during training camp, he was the only one that looked explosive from the backfield.
Oh yeah,
to give him his props. He was the only one, including Zeus. It just didn't click like that. So.
Yeah. True.
Hit the like buttons, everybody. Hit the like button.
Hit the like, hit the subscribe.
Yes, please hit those like buttons. And since we like to give our fans what they want, we did get a request to pull up the
yes, sir. Let's look at
the waivers and releases as far as what's happened, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. Shout out to these guys on this list. First and foremost, we appreciate you. We thank you. Hopefully you guys find some places on practice teams and other organizations. But yeah, absolutely. Hopefully this is not the end of your career, especially the guys that have been waived, right? Because if you weren't aware of it, basically when you're waived, right, that's for players that are less than 4 years. People actually have the ability to pick them up as they see fit. But when it comes to releases, those are for players that have been 4 years or more, and they actually have the ability to pick and choose where they want to go as a free agent. So just as an FYI for anybody if they're wondering what the difference is between the two.
Now,
but yeah, again, I'm just going to say, hey, shout out. Thank you.
Of course. I'm curious about y'all's answer, but who was the most, surprising cut to y'all? I mean, there's a lot of people that were real surprised with the cornerback spots and who we kept. I mean, me personally, I wasn't really surprised on who they released. I mean, Duke Shelley, he was not playing well as we were watching.
I was not impressed at all.
We were watching it on the live stream.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed at all.
Everybody was hyping him up when we first, signed him, and I was like, okay, let's see what he does. But I didn't like what I saw from him. I mean, Tyler Hall, we barely saw Tyler Hall, so that was the determining factor there. Amik was very sneaky. I keep getting on Amik, but he just keeps hanging around, man.
I think he's a locker room guy.
That's what it is.
Well, he's a scrapper too, man. He's a scrapper. He's got that mentality like the new kid we got that Ziegler loves.
Yeah.
He's a little bit of a dog, man. He just doesn't always. I hate to say it, but he just reminds me it just can't get right. He's always there, but
what do I be telling you all the time, bro? I tell you this all the time, and I say it on my channel all the time. He's there. The most frustrating thing about him,
if he was a little bigger,
he needs to be. You know what I mean? Like he's always where he needs to be, but the catches he can't finish. He can't knock the pass down.
Can't finish.
That's just what he does.
Drops the interception, whatever it is. Yeah,
he's looking the wrong way. Yeah.
Wagner,
it's a little frustrating.
Yeah. My boy Charles Washington said Wagner is surprising to me. I thought they basically
they stashed him though.
Yeah, they basically.
But no, he made it. No, or did he get stashed?
IR. He went to IR season.
Yeah, they stashing him. Yeah,
same thing as Britton Brown. Yeah,
Haran making it pisses me off. That's what pisses me off.
Injuries, man.
I do not like Justin Haran whatsoever, bro. He was weak to me. And Meredith too. Meredith made it too. We saw
Meredith. Yeah, I forgot about Meredith.
Cowboys just getting blown back 10 yards.
I'd rather keep McClendon Curtis around than Meredith.
Yeah, they probably hope he gets to the practice squad, but they waived him. Yeah,
but to me, he didn't look as good as everyone was speaking him up to be. You know, because he was the one that he was the hidden gem and stuff. And I don't know, man. He has
the size, but you're right. I didn't see, anything that made me jump out of my seat.
I almost feel like they gotta go get another guard because Alex Bars, Netane Moody. Because honestly, I like Netane Moody going into this offseason.
Me too.
But he just didn't show up this offseason.
I don't know what it
was.
Well, don't know what it was.
Oh,
and I liked him, man. I thought he was going to develop into something.
How do you guys feel about our starting 5 O-line?
I mean, it's gonna have to work. That's how I feel about it. It's gonna have to work.
It's gonna be better than last year.
Colton Miller, left tackle, Parham, left guard, James center. Now you got Greg Van Roten, right guard, and then
I like Roten better than Alex Bars.
Me too. Mumford or Jermaine, I'm cool with it. Right tackle. I'm not really sure either one. It is what it is.
I like Jermaine, honestly. But ultimately, if I don't know, I just don't trust Mumford. I just don't
want him to start though. I mean,
then we can bump Luminar inside, but I really just don't trust Mumford, man. At least Luminar is a little battle tested. He did well last year. Besides, his biggest issue was those penalties, man. Those mental blocks. But
Bars didn't make it. Bars got cut.
Bars didn't make it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Bars didn't make it. And
that's what I'm saying.
Rightfully so. He shouldn't have made it.
Yeah. Every time I just take a look though at our linebacker depth on this roster, I just almost shed a tear on how disappointing it is. Like, it's terrible.
Yep.
Yeah.
People are expecting us to make some type of playoff. I mean, we can make a playoff push, but at the end of the day, this linebacker core, if you look around, even in our division, ain't as good as what it needs to be.
Yeah, it's nowhere close.
This is the worst set of linebackers we've had in a long time.
Oh yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Because for one, like I said, in rundown, you know how I feel. That daggone Amari Burney is so. He's not it, man.
You could have sold.
I'm the first one that tells y'all.
Yeah, you could have sold me on Drake Thomas keeping him over Amari Burney, and I would not have done that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I hope I'm wrong about him. I hope I'm like you, Terrence, and I can come on this show and say, you know what, I was wrong.
I was wrong.
But man, I don't like seeing linebackers that's not physical, man.
Nah, hell no, not in a Raider at that. Nah.
Yeah, that's not it.
In the Cowboys game, he left a bad taste in my mouth. He was doing some things. I was like, nah.
I was done with him after game 1.
Yeah,
I was done with him after. I ain't gonna lie.
I think whatever we need to do, make a move, something.
Ready for him to go. That's how I felt when it came to Cam Sims. I saw him in training camp, and I was like, oh no.
I remember you texting me that too. Yeah, you were done with Cam Sims during that practice. I remember that. Yeah.
He couldn't catch a cold in practice, and it was practice. It was practice, and he was dropping balls.
So if we're talking about receivers, I mean, we got to talk about Wilkerson then. I mean, Wilkerson ended up making the roster. I mean, we were seeing it because just of how well he was playing. Him and O'Connell have some type of chemistry that's different, but I mean, if you can consistently rack up almost 100 yards in each 3 of these games consistently, it's like, okay, we might have something here.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
He's got it.
Yeah, he's earned it, man.
Yeah, Wilkerson balled out. Yeah, he earned it. He balled out. And that's what it's about, right? It's about earning the spot. And that's how you keep the competition going. That's how you keep that next man up. I mean, it may sound silly, but the truth is, hey, Renfro and Myers understands that Wilkerson ready, bro.
Yeah.
You get hurt for too many games, you might not get that spot back.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the way it works in this particular scenario of what we got going and what they're starting to build. You know, that's partly why these guys don't get hurt, because they understand if I get hurt, I am out of the door. They don't play that. See, and that's what I'm saying when it comes to the drafting and right people, you don't always go get the best thing, if you will. You get the most solid that's specific for your needs, right? And that's where a lot of these picks, sometimes people are like, what are they doing? And then you realize this dude is available 17 weeks out of 17 weeks. He can play for you, and he's solid. He may not be the best tackle, or
he plays his role. He plays his role.
He plays his role. You know what you're gonna get, and he's solid.
Yeah.
You don't always need to have the top of everything.
Did they keep DeAndre Carter?
Say that again.
Oh yeah. They kept him.
All right, that's all right.
Yep.
Nah, I'm a fan of him. He
Yeah,
made me a fan. I ain't gonna lie. He made me a fan. If you would have asked me, a few weeks ago, who was gonna be cut, I would have said him because I thought, in theory, Trey Tucker was gonna take his spot. But that dude, now you talking about somebody that's on special teams that makes a difference? That's him, not no Brandon Bolden.
See, but I kept telling you throughout the offseason, he's got the kick return, punt.
I like him
down. You know what I mean? Like
I like him.
Yes.
I wasn't too hip on him, man, but I like him.
But even I think last year is what made me a fan of DeAndre Carter when he was with the Chargers. Because seeing him do what he was doing with the Chargers, even with the receiving game, right? And he kept flipping their field position every time he played them. I was like, I like this dude. So I knew what he was gonna bring.
Yep. Yeah, I think we're as solid as you're gonna get when it comes to wide receiver. I think it's actually our strongest point. Wide receiver is our strongest. I would say our next strongest position is gonna be defensive ends. I think
for sure.
Matt Max might get player of the year, man. Defensive player of the year.
He's playing like a man. I mean, he just everything I hear about him, man.
Yeah, I need him to play like a maniac.
Yep. So I mean, and that's surprising, right? I mean, we haven't been able to say anything about anything defensively in 20 years. So the fact that we can say that that's one of our second best positions as far as the defensive ends and that line, if you will. That's saying a lot, man. And to be honest, our cornerbacks is now our backfield secondary is starting to look, shape up to be real nice back there, man. Again, they are creating that serious competition. I mean, I'm just thinking of the safeties in itself, like right between Moerig, Teamer, Epps, like man,
that's Rundow's boy.
That's my guy, bro. He's gonna be hard, bro. He's gonna be hard.
We got some ballers, man. I mean, things are really starting to shape up. I'm gonna be honest though, with this running back situation, I'm not as solid as I thought. I don't feel as comfortable anymore.
I told you, man.
I'm not sold on Zeus. I like Abdullah, but I mean, I'm still not sold on him.
Third down guy. He's a third down.
Yeah, he's not somebody you're going to try to get. To play.
You saying Samir is a third down guy?
No.
Amir. I was about to say I wouldn't bet no third down on Samir at all. He already showed us this preseason. If it's 3rd and 1, my confidence dwindles. Right, like it goes down because I'm like I don't even know if he's gonna be able to push the pile for this, for this third down. Now there were some times that the O-line wasn't doing what they were supposed to do, but this is what made me realize that we might be in trouble if Jacobs didn't come back. Even last year, for as good as Jacobs was last year.
Y'all didn't care if Jacobs came back or not. Look, just think.
I agree. We was tripping, bro.
Yeah, I mean, but see, we thought he was asking for like 14, 15 million.
Just think. Y'all was cool.
If he's asking for 14, 15 million dollars, I would have said, well,
I would have gave it to him.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry.
You still
you would have been mad
if Josh wanted 14, you wouldn't give it to him?
No. For 1 year?
You can.
Yeah.
Hell
for
no,
this year.
For 1 year.
For this year.
You can.
Why?
You know how much money that is on your books next year, bro?
That's another $3 million.
For 1 year.
Can't do it. And it's another $3 million out of other people's pockets, man. That stuff it adds up, man.
You guys are crazy. The
12 is perfect.
The fact that I'm the only one upset about Brandon Bolden's $2 million and you won't give it to Josh is wild to me.
The $2 million was gonna go somewhere else, though. It wasn't gonna go to Josh. It was gonna go to somebody else.
Give it to Josh.
Exactly.
Give it to Josh.
Find somebody else with that.
Who? Brandon Parker? That's all they gonna do. Give it to him.
Now, if they bring me a defensive player, before I really want them to bring me somebody before the season starts on defense. I mean, somebody, whether it be defensive line or linebacker, bro. Like they need to sign somebody or make some sort of trade, man. But at the end of the day,
how y'all feel about our interior line?
it can work.
I think it's gonna work out well. But hey, Nesta ain't playing, man. That dude is out there throwing. He throwing grown men around out there, man.
Am I the only one that doesn't like Bilal Nichols?
I think he was dealing with a lot of injuries last year. So I think he was dealing with a lot of injuries. I have to fairly judge him this year. This year, I'll fairly judge.
He's making a pretty penny, man, for what he does. I mean,
hey, I ain't seen no complaints about him, like making the roster.
Well, to me, okay, I ain't gonna say a pretty, but I'm just saying it's like I think we could save like $5 million by cutting him.
I gotta see him this year.
That's what I'm saying. Little stuff like this. You guys worried about the little $2 million I want to give Josh.
Well, we have to see him this year. We got to see what he does. I mean,
that's right. And the other thing you got to remember is he's got size. He's got something that you can't teach. He's got something that
he's not that
was
big,
solid.
Though.
He was solid. But what I'm saying is he was solid and he did a good job considering. To be honest, y'all might think I'm crazy. I don't even think he should start this year.
Oh, he's going to.
Wow.
He's going.
Of course he's going to start.
Okay, now what all right, what do you guys say our base is? A 4-3 or 3-4?
3-4.
I was going to say 3-4 is if you're talking about Patrick Graham.
So
Patrick Graham.
So if we're doing a 3-4, then Nichols would be a 3-4 end, right?
That's what they want to do. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So
that's what they want to do.
But like to me, I'd rather have Tillery out there than Bilal.
I don't think the starting thing on the D line matters, to be honest. I think the whole D line we're going like that whole basketball rotation approach.
Okay.
That's what I think it is at the end of the day.
Okay, well, I won't say starter then. I'll just say I think that like those guys like Tillery should get more snaps in. He should get more reps.
On the inside, yeah, but then he can't run. I don't know if we can cuss on here, but he can't, I was gonna say he can't run, defend for SITS.
Oh, Tillery?
Yeah, no, can't. He can't run defend, bro. Like he's terrible at run defense.
Man, I don't know, man.
Right.
Last year he was bad.
Bilal's not it for me, man.
Because Tillery can't play all 3 downs. He can't. Like he's in for
exactly.
Pass downs. Kuntz can't play all 3 downs either. You feel what I'm saying? Because
but Kuntz is more of the edge, so he's more of the the stand up.
He's backing up Crosby.
But you got to think who else they have. They kept Jenkins and they kept Adam Butler. Now those guys.
Jenkins is nose though. Jenkins is nose.
True, but I see more as the more of the run defense, right? And then when we get
but he's nose. Yeah, he's nose. So he's the true nose tackle in the middle, whereas Bilal is, going to be next to him on the end.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless we do a 4-3.
Because how are they going to use Tyree? That's the next thing. Tyree's going to go inside and outside.
I ain't gonna lie. The way he was moving grown men around, you could put him anywhere.
That's what I'm saying.
Anywhere.
That's why I think the positions on the D line don't really matter because they got so many interchangeable guys on this D line. It's like everybody's playing anywhere except Max and Chandler. Well, damn near even Max. Max kind of went inside last year a little bit too. So exactly. Chandler's the only one that's not really moving for real.
But honestly, with Chandler, when he's slimming down, man, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go back in coverage more this year.
Yeah,
out in the flat.
Yeah.
Well, they got us listed as a base 4-3. So you looking at Max, Tillery, Nichols. Tillery and Nichols is in the middle. Max is on the left. Crosby is Jones is on the right. And Tillery and Nichols is in the middle.
Okay, so
you got Tyree backing up Chandler, and then you got Kuntz backing up Crosby.
Okay,
so then it's really that really goes to my point. So if we do a 4, because that's actually where I was thinking was more of a 4-3, but I know last year we did 3-4 some.
Correct.
But so without a real nose tackle, I think you got to put Jenkins in over Bilal Nichols. You got to. Because you need one true big boy in there.
Yeah, run stop.
Played well too.
Yeah, and that's Jenkins. And then I think the other one, I I don't know, man. I'd rather have Tillery in than I mean, because think about last year, Tillery, as much as you don't like him, when we first brought him to the team, he made an immediate impact on that defensive line.
I'm not gonna say I don't like him, but that was his only game where he gave me some real impact, to be honest. Like after that first game, because after that first game was against the Chargers, if I'm not mistaken, right? So it was kind of easy to be like, all right, well, he probably gonna come out here and get the whooping ass a little bit because from his former team.
Nobody was expecting that. We wasn't expecting that.
It's his former team, and he was a former first round pick. He was definitely going. I knew from the jump, I was like, he's gonna come out here and try to do something and try to impress. But then after that, he didn't have a game like that. After that, it was kind of like
if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for that penalty, y'all wouldn't be so hard on my boy.
I wouldn't be. I don't even care about that, to be honest. Like, to be honest,
that penalty. I ain't gonna lie. That penalty pissed me off, man. That penalty pissed me off.
It was a multitude of other things that happened even before that we was about to lose.
I know.
Game. It wasn't even that specific thing. Like, we was gonna lose.
Even that last preseason game, we had way more. We probably had more penalties that last preseason game than the first two preseason games.
Oh yeah,
it was sloppy. Yeah, everything was sloppy. It was. It did leave a bad taste in my mouth.
Man, they were losing contain. Like they were just
they made Grill look like an all-star.
They
made Grill look like an all-star. That kid just wrote his ticket to be a backup somewhere.
Oh yeah,
I don't know where, but
if he's not, then that's gonna be crazy.
He looks so good. I'm like, man, can we?
We might have
right. I'm like, jeez,
we don't need him on here though.
Nah, we good. We set with what we got. I'm a believer in O'Connell. Rundown. I don't know if you've ever heard me have that conversation about him, but I did my homework on him, and I know he's going to be a Raider for a decade. I'm just telling you, he fits the system that they want. And like I say, if you're dealing with Mahomes, that's what you want. You want a smart kid that's not going to turn the ball over, that can get it all over the place. And then we're going to rely on our role.
This is my thing about O'Connell, because I agree. I think he's going to get his chance to start, and I think he will play. My only thing now is, what will he be? Will he be a Kirk Cousins? Will he be a Derek Carr? Or will he be a Joe Burrow? Nobody's a Joe Burrow. But at the end of the day, will he be of that status? That's the only thing we don't know. You know what I mean? Like, that's a wild card out here. I feel like he has the ability to start, but I just don't know how good he's going to be.
I think, look, bottom line is you don't break a Drew Brees record of that stature for no reason.
That's true.
I think he has the ability to be great, but it's very hard to do that. You need the stars to align, man. You need everything to work. You know what I mean? Like, just imagine if Mahomes didn't get to Andy Reid, bro. We might not be talking the same thing about how we love Mahomes from that respect.
Yeah, you gotta have the right marriage,
fall in place. It's gotta fall in place, man. And I think he's in the right spot. You got to remember, man, McDaniels is a cerebral dude when it comes to quarterback. They don't need an athlete in that position. In fact, they tend to get their athletes in the skill positions and get them the ball and allow them to do those things, not their quarterback. I mean, that's just the basics, right? That's the basics of the game. It's always worked for them. And I mean, you're starting to see it come to fruition for us. We don't need a guy that's running around and, making plays with his legs. We want to get the ball to our playmakers, man, because we got a lot of them. We really do.
Now, in the NFL, you don't have to just win with the mobile quarterback. I mean, that's the way the NFL is going, because you got a lot of, quarterbacks who are mobile and can move and do all that. But I mean, I even argue even the quarterbacks that aren't regarded as super mobile are still good because of one essential thing, and that's their pocket presence. Some just have great pocket presence, and I bring him up all the time, but that's Joe Burrow. That's my number one for me. I love
that's
Joe
my dude.
Chris, I love Joe Burrow.
Me too, man. Joe Burrow is my dude.
There's a distinct quality between guys like him, and I'm not saying he's Tom Brady, but at the end of the day, with that type of quarterback where they're not super athletic, but they know how to move in the pocket, and they have that feel to where it's like, okay, I know how to move and contort my body a certain way to get this throw off. Although, and we saw from O'Connell in the preseason, he's a little bit more athletic than people was giving him credit for.
Man, he got out of that pocket on a few occasions and didn't get
a couple times where I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I didn't know he could do that. You know what I mean? Like that's so. There's definitely some things to work with there.
Hey, I like the kid's character, everything. I mean, he's cool under pressure. I mean, even his commentation when, he's getting asked questions. I mean, they asked him about his wheels. He's like, yeah, I got a little something when necessary. I like the kid, man. I like him a lot.
Me too.
Yeah, I really, really like O'Connell, man. I think he's I think we got something with him. I know it's just weird because he doesn't really kind of look the part, especially as a Raider as far as that's concerned. But you know what I mean? Yeah,
neither does Renfro, man. Neither does Renfro.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We got to see how he looks in a couple more years. When success start hitting a couple guys in the NFL, they start slimming down and start wearing different clothes. So we'll see what he look like.
Yeah. No, I agree. It'll be interesting, man. I mean, all I can say is again, though, I know who better not get hurt, and his name is Jimmy Garoppolo, because the best thing Jimmy can do is get hurt early, because and hopefully exactly he ain't gonna get paid, and he's gonna be right back to square one where he was at in the 49er land when it comes to quarterback.
That job back. If he gets hurt, he's not getting his job back.
Yep, I agree. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think if O'Connell gets to step up, he's never giving that job up. I mean, yes, it was preseason, but I think he's gonna do better in regular season with the first stringers. I mean, are you kidding me? He didn't throw to Devontae. He didn't throw to Renfro. He didn't throw to Jacoby Myers. He was throwing to all the third stringers.
Yep.
Like, for real. It's gonna be interesting. Yeah,
he has the strongest arm on the team right now.
And he's got great anticipation. He trusts himself. He lets the ball go. He doesn't hang on to it. I mean,
I love it all.
And again, he's accurate. 71%.
Can't argue with it for 3 straight games.
That's what I'm saying. You can't argue with those facts. It's not like he hasn't been doing it.
Like, and I know, we make our content and it's not like when we talk about certain players and we don't get overly hyped that we don't want them to do good. But at the end of the day, we have to keep it in perspective. How good can he be over the course of time? Like, it can't just be one game. We all know the best quarterbacks are consistent. So the fact he looked the same way in all 3 games, cool, calm. That third game was kind of iffy, but at the same time, he didn't look like the pressure was getting too much on him. He still delivered great throws. I definitely love what I was seeing from Aiden O'Connell. I mean, he can only build on that from this year, honestly.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I agree.
I think the big thing with him is I love the fact that there were times that he had bad throws and he didn't let it keep him down. Like he would have a bad throw early on. He would just shake it off. Next throw, he's throwing the laser in the corner, with a lot of anticipation. So I really like that, just being able to see the kid go through a little adversity. He went through some adversity, against the Cowboys. He played from behind a little bit. And again, he didn't come back for the win, but, for one, McDaniels wasn't calling the plays this game. They said that I think Mick Lombardi was. Which you can kind of tell, but again, so I think, and ultimately, we want to see, just the basic stuff in preseason. We don't want to see us tip our hat in anything.
Exactly.
Hey, the kid passed with flying colors on me.
That's all we care about.
And he's got the brain. That's the other part that I'm in love with. He's got the right fit for what they need and what they want. You know what I mean? Would we wanted a Richardson over him, from an athletic, standpoint, from a fan standpoint, and going out and seeing your quarterback be like the rest of the dudes running around? Yeah, that sounds and looks great, but I want to win too, bro.
I want somebody that can run the offense the way it's supposed to. So then Cause I don't want no more excuses. You know, like you guys know me.
Exactly.
I'm probably higher on McDaniels than most people, but I also ain't gonna give no excuses like, oh well, I didn't have my quarterback. Like, no, you handpicked Jimmy.
Yeah.
And now you handpicked this second string. So I don't want to hear about you know, you need to bring your guys in. You got your guys.
Yep.
Let's go. Let's rock.
Yeah.
Let's rock.
They definitely got their guys now. There's no question about it. Again, like I say, I'm really excited about the next draft class. I think that's really where we finally get a foundation, right? Because those guys will be coming in, messing with the rookies that'll be second stringers next year, right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna have that whole competition thing at all times. It's just naturally, it's now just there. And that's why I was so disappointed about that third game, because you couldn't see that competition.
No.
That competition wasn't on the field for whatever reason, whether it was they were overthinking, right? Whatever the case may be, you know, it just didn't work because of the mesh, if you will. You hear that? You guys hear that feedback?
No, I
Okay.
can't.
It stopped.
Yeah,
No,
but I
yeah,
definitely agree with what you're saying, man. I mean, I've always said that since the beginning of my channel. I mean, you can kind of just see how they are. You got to give McDaniels and Ziegler 3 years. We're on our second year, but you're seeing how they're structuring these contracts. You know, they're structuring it like they have 3 years. And at the end of the day, you see that now next year, pretty much a lot of those contracts that we talked about at the beginning of this, the Littletons, the Joiners, contracts like that, they come off the books next year. So now you have more cap money to spend in free agency, where we'll be able to get those star players that make us be like, oh, we're moving the needle. And also, you still have all of your draft picks. So now year 3 is when we're going to see this team fully formed in the vision that they're doing. But this right here, this draft class and everything they did this year is groundwork.
I know who better get some of that.
Straight groundwork.
I know who better get some of that 30 million dead money that's coming off the books next year. I know who better get some of that. Hey, I know who better get some of that. That's
guess what, brother? Franchise tag yet again.
Don't franchise tag. Yet again. Don't do that.
Hey, you know, I mean, hey, we're speaking about it, but the truth is, it is a problem. It's a problem. And I feel bad for these guys because it just so happened to be tag your running backs. You know what I mean? And it's just a harsh reality about the NFL and the way that the game's changed.
So let me ask y'all this then.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what if he has another very productive season? Do we just franchise tag him again?
But this is my question. How many carries did it take him to do it? How many carries did it take him to do it? And how
it's not about that. It's about the impact, man.
Yes, it is. It is.
No, it's not.
Because I'm telling you, running backs that lead the league in carries don't typically come back the next year the same way they did. And if they did, it's a Hall of Fame running back. And that's not a lot of, they're not seeing a lot of that.
No,
in this modern NFL area.
No, I feel that. I feel that. That's fine. But what I'm saying is you got to look at the impact of you got to look at what these defensive coordinators are thinking. Like, okay, when Josh is in there, they're playing the Raiders completely different than if Sincere McCormick is in there or Zeus is in there.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
You know what I'm saying? Because for one, we don't got Waller no more. So that's one real weapon we don't have that they had to worry about. But, you know, when you got Devontae, you know, the main thing is, okay, how am I going to stop Devontae? Now, when you got Josh back there, you almost got to stop Josh first because you can't let a guy just run. You can't let a team just run on you all day because then they'll just bully you all day. So therefore, you got to put an extra cat in the box for Josh. You got to. But it's like, okay, now it's like, okay, Josh ain't there. Oh, we triple teaming Devontae right now. You know, Hunter, you're going to have to beat us. Which, I mean, Hunter's going to win some one-on-ones. He will, but man, I don't know, man. It's just
he's going to win all one-on-ones.
It's the impact that he brings, man. It's just the threat of having him back there is worth the money.
I'm just a devil's advocate, all right? Because I'm a running back connoisseur, and I followed all types of situations. And I love Josh Jacobs, and definitely I'm on the train of I want to keep him. So don't even have me saying this thing I don't want to keep him. But at the end of the day,
you want Zeus.
No, hell no. I gave you the scenario already.
Hey, I'm giving all y'all hell because y'all all told me to death that Zeus
like
is the man.
I played on my boy Chris's heartstrings when I said it's going to be real difficult if you're trying to say, oh, Jacobs wants 14, 15, but running backs like your boy from Michigan is coming out next year.
Right.
Well, you
had me thinking then.
Those are the conversations
hey, you
have to have.
You stumped me then. You stumped me.
Those
I love me some Blake Corum, man. I love me some Blake Corum.
And I'm just saying, like, and you can go back for as long as you want to go back. I mean, you can even say the same thing when the Rams had Todd Gurley. They were scared of him.
Right.
They wasn't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Till they wasn't. He wasn't doing what he was supposed to do.
I get it.
Or
I get it.
He wasn't to. You know.
I get it. I just don't like the. It's like us Raider fans don't know how to like give someone else some praise without tearing someone else down. It's like most of the Raider fans wanted a way to like the really embrace Zamir, and their way of doing that was like acting like JJ was nothing. I'm like,
that's
what I didn't like, and that's why I wasn't going for. I'm like, we can praise Zamir, like, hey, we all want Zamir to come out and ball, but let's not act like Josh didn't do what he just did.
Exactly.
That was my biggest thing. I'm like, come on, man, let's cut the crap.
Exactly. I get that.
Valid point. What do y'all think about Bijan Robinson? What do you think he's gonna have as far as a year? Because I think all of us are running backs here, right?
Yeah.
But away from that, but I just do, thinking fantasy wise and so forth. Which is another topic, Chris, we need to discuss, right? We need to actually start getting a fantasy day, right? I think it would make some sense for us Raider fans to get a fantasy day out one of these days out of the week. It'll be helpful for all of us. But yeah, Bijan, I mean, he's the highest pick running back. Yeah, he's the highest pick running back in a long time, right?
In a long time.
He went like, what did he go, 3 or 4 or something like that? What he got picked?
He didn't go that early. He didn't go that early.
I thought he went high, top 10.
He did go top 10.
Yeah, but he didn't go before we picked.
Not before we
picked. No. Okay, I was about to say because he went. Where'd he go?
I think he was 10th. Now that I think about it,
what he was.
I think he was 10th to the Falcons.
I'm gonna keep it real. He's nice, but he wasn't the best running back that played in college football last year.
Are you gonna talk about Blake?
Huh?
Blake? You talking about Blake is the best?
Dog, Blake is fire, bro.
Talk about
Blake is fire. I'm telling. Blake is fire.
I look, and that's cool. I like Bijan, but I have a feeling that your boy from Detroit is gonna have a better season on the ground. Man, boy, and when he was coming out this year, I wouldn't have been mad if we would have gotten him. I'm not even gonna lie. He's hard, bro. Jameer Gibbs is hard.
He could play.
Everything Bijan can do, he may be able to do it at just a slightly big. Jameer Gibbs can do. Like I'm just putting it like. And looking at Detroit's offense, how they open it up, he's got a real shot. He's got a shot.
He does. He could be the breakout kid.
I like that.
Yeah, he is nice. He is nice.
And that's the thing, man. Like, there are a lot of running backs, bro. There are a lot of and that's part of the problem. There are a lot of running backs.
You can
but like we just said, though, I mean, there's a difference, though, because I mean, just think about all the guys that was good in college, the Trent Richardsons and stuff and like that. But it's like, but they still lack that true anticipation and vision and instinct.
Yeah,
the NFL has changed to the point now where it's like you don't need to draft those dudes in round 1, 2, or 3 at this point.
I mean,
4 or 5. What round was Alvin Kamara drafted in? That's my guy. I always refer to.
I like Kamara.
He is a monster.
What is he like? 4th round, 5th round pick, something like that. Like that's like amazing value to get something like that. And it's like you can grab that more frequently nowadays than you were ever able to do before. I mean, even the boy from the Chiefs, and I hate to bring up the Chiefs, but even the running back from the Chiefs.
Yeah, Alvin Kamara was the 67th pick, dog. That's like
exactly
okay. No, but if you really think about it, though, I mean, if that was the case in Zamir, I mean, how come Zamir's not that guy? You know what I'm saying? Like if it's my point is you can find those diamonds in the rough, but like I think that year Zamir was probably the second best back in the league, maybe third. I mean coming out in the draft.
Out of college, yeah.
Yeah, he was probably like second or whatever, but I don't know, man.
I'm trying to remember who had a good. There were some other running backs though last year that was better. Pretty good. Yeah, I just think they picked the wrong one. Yeah, they got the wrong one. That's what it was. But plus, I will say this about Zamir, and I'll just give him a little credit. And I don't think this is the right system for him. I don't either.
I have to agree with you, bro. I have to agree with you.
And that's why I think the front office kind of like effed him up a little bit too, because they drafted him in a system that's not playing to his strengths. He's not a zone runner, and they're trying to continue to have him pick holes, find lane. He's not that type of runner. He's a power runner. He needs to go straight downhill. But this ain't that type of system.
But I think we run more of a power system though.
No,
we're not a zone. We don't got zone linemen. We don't got zone offensive line. I mean, you got to think
he would fit with the Titans. He would fit with he would fit with like the Titans.
It looks like they give Josh a lot of leeway to pick his holes. It really does.
Correct.
But that's instinct, though.
But they tried to do the same thing with Zamir. This is what I'm saying. This is kind of the system too. They're like, all right, bro, like this. The system is, remember how I kept saying we're doing a lot of these outside zones and all this shit, like, and it didn't look good. A portion of it is because one, the O-line was not blocking the way they were supposed to on them outside powers and zones or whatever. Two, the boy is not meant for those type of runs. That's why I don't. And then when Damian Williams comes in and Sincere McCormick comes in, they're those type of runners. That's why they look better immediately because it's
you're right. He's a fullback guy. He's a fullback guy. He needs a two-back system, right? Where you got your power eye, that's what Zamir is. I mean, he's the thing about Josh, he's everything. He's a single back. You can put a fullback in front of him. You can put him off to the side, right? It's irrelevant what you put him in. He's gonna find the hole. That's where we talk that instinct, right? That instinct is why Josh is who Josh is. He's different, exactly. And not every running back has that, and that's just flat out instincts. And you can't teach that. That's not something you teach. And again, that's why when you're running a zone, like. Even when it comes to the Titans and you look at what's old boy's name over there? Big dude. Big running back.
Oh, Derrick Henry.
Yeah. You know what I mean? That's more of Zeus's running style, if you will. Derrick Henry is not a shifty dude that's going to make you miss like a Jacobs right. He's just kind of straight up and down too because he's so damn big.
Right. Even like Cleveland and something like that. He do good in Cleveland or some type of scheme like that.
Chubb is that dude. That's another dude. Chubb is the guy.
I'm not saying we run specifically zones. We don't run just a zone scheme, but at the end of the day, there are some aspects of it in here that just Zeus can't do. You feel what I'm saying?
Don't fit. I agree. You hit it on the head. He doesn't fit our system. I hate to admit it. Chris, he's right, bro. I mean, how?
He
was right, man. He was right.
Sincere fits the system, but he's just too small. He can't do everything. I think that's his problem too. I don't think he can run block either. Sincere can't run block. I mean, pass block how he needs to.
Well, none of those guys can. To be honest, I mean, Josh can do it. Yeah, Josh can do it. Zeus can't either, though. None of them do. Brandon Bolden can pass.
This is the only reason he's here. This is the only reason because he can pass.
That's not enough, bro.
No.
We only got 53 spots. Like people want to cry about Hoyer having a spot. Hoyer is a whole tutor, man. Like tutoring our young boy, and then people are okay with Brandon.
Come on, Chris. Okay, see, you know me, and you know me, right? You know when we first talked. I hated having Brandon Bolden on
I know you do. I know you do.
But this is my thing. I've come around to this, okay? And if I'm looking at it as a coach's perspective, especially as a guy who played running back, if you only have one good pass blocking running back on your roster, that's not good.
Somebody can lean back.
You feel what I'm saying? Because if Josh goes down, you feel me? If Josh goes down, we know Amir Abdullah ain't gonna do that.
He's not blocking.
We know Zamir can't pass block like that. So now you're like, oh, like
that means we got the wrong guys.
We're screwed.
That means we got the wrong guys
aren't strong. You feel that's
it's the Charlie Brown.
Not everybody's a strong pass blocker. That's just the reality of the position.
They trust Bolden. Bottom line is, if all hell broke loose in the backfield, if everybody got hurt, they know Bolden will be there for 17 games. That's really what it boils down to.
Of course, he's gonna be there for 17 games because he just collecting the check, $2 million that they could give to Jay. Let me stop, man. Y'all gonna think I'm his agent or something. Shout out to Brandon Bolden.
Man, bro. Hey, he gets
shout out to Brandon Bolden. If he can get away with highway robbery, why not, man?
Right. Too funny, bro.
That is hilarious. Hey, man. We got
let's talk. Let's say that again.
No. Go ahead.
I was gonna say let's hit this topic of the season opener before we start to wrap it up and get ourselves up out of here. I know Chris don't like to hang out too long, so.
Oh no, hey, nah, we good. You know what I'm saying? We good, baby.
What y'all think about this Denver game? A lot of people have us losing this game. I don't understand.
Yeah, y'all want to go? You want to start this off, man? You want to start off, bro?
Man, I'll kick it off, man. I think for one, we got the Broncos the last few years, but whenever you got a new coach, someone like Sean Payton is so different than Paul Hackett, for one. So it's a completely shift in offensive scheme, all that stuff. So Russ already has some issues with Paul Hackett, and now he's gonna have to unlearn that. He got to unlearn what Pete Carroll and all them taught him. And now it's going to be like Sean Payton, who's going to want it his way. You're not going to be able to deviate and do all this with Sean Payton. He wants it his way. He's almost like Gruden-esque in a way. You know what I'm saying? As far as schematically, want things his way, want the ball there or whatever.
Yeah, he's very anal.
Yeah. He is a great coach, but, Russ is not going to have that long leash like he's used to. So I think they're going to struggle there. And then on top of that, all the injuries they had at wide receiver, they lost what's his name? Tim Patrick.
For the season, right?
Yeah, Tim Patrick's going. Judy's going to be going for a long time.
Yep.
They got rid of Hamler, I believe. So they got Sutton, and then they got the young boy, Mims. They'll be okay. But that's nothing that scares me. I'm not scared.
Not
they don't got they don't got nothing to scare me. Their running back, what's the name?
He's coming off the injury, Williams.
Yeah, coming off the injury.
He's coming off an ACL.
Yeah, coming off an injury. They got their line isn't that
good. They got Pirine though. I ain't gonna lie, that dude can ball.
He's nice.
Pirine, he came from Pirine.
He's nice.
He's actually born and raised here in Pflugerville, where I live, Pflugerville, Texas.
Yeah, he can play, but he's not. I'm not scared of him.
Right.
Yeah, he's cool, but and then
I understand, not by himself.
Yeah, now I will say their defensive backs is that deal, but as Devontae said, PS2 ain't ready. PS2 ain't ready. You know what I'm saying?
Torching their ass all year.
Yeah, he said you're not ready yet, man. So to me, I see us winning by double digits, man. That's just me.
Wow.
Hey,
I'm sorry. I was
hoping you're right about
all that.
Nah, it's all good, man. I'm glad you did. Going ahead.
Me personally,
run down.
When I think about Denver and getting scared of them, I never fear Denver only because we beat them where it's most important, and that's the trenches, right? So when I'm looking at it, do I think that Denver's O-line got better? We'll see. I don't think they did. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing. I think the O-line got worse. Now, you talk about you bring in Mike McGlinchey from the 49ers. A lot of people that I know that, follow the 49ers and stuff like that say he was terrible.
He was a liability. Yep.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So they're trying to sell me that that's an upgrade, one. And we all know that Garrett Bowles is a turnstile. So at the end of the day, we don't care about him. You know what I mean? What is that? He don't strike no fear. Now, what they're going to try to do this year that they did differently is they're going to let Russ cook less. That's what they're
exactly.
They're going to sit here and try to run the ball and try to account for the fact, because I don't care what anybody tells me, Russell Wilson is never returning back to the form he was. He's not.
No,
he's not that guy.
It's over.
He's not that guy. We saw it the last year in Seattle should have told you what you needed to know. Everybody thought that was, oh, he's going to get back to form. No, that last year in Seattle was what he actually is. You know what I mean? That's he don't strike no fear. And to me, the receivers, even when the receivers are healthy, don't strike no fear into me. You know what I mean? Like Jerry Jeudy's cool, but he's whatever. You know what I mean? Cortland Sutton's cool, but he's whatever. You know what I mean? So they don't.
Sutton's a baller. I'll give Sutton more credit than Jeudy.
I fear Keenan Allen in them more than I do him.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
But even
Keenan Allen,
but even Sutton, though, Sutton had 1 year. Sutton really only had 1 year.
No, I'm not really overly.
Now, he balled out that year. But
but I'm not overly like, oh my God, you know what I mean? And their defense is something that we're going to have to contend with, because their defense is
they're always their defense always.
I'm not gonna say their defense is gonna be top 5, but their defense is gonna be physical and fast, and that's exactly how they're gonna come. You know what I mean? So our O-line has to be ready now. Like my man Chris always says, we got that Bronco killer in the backfield back.
So got that killer.
And the second thing is, we beat them last year with really only one guy that can win on one-on-one consistently. Like, if we really think about it, that second meeting, did we even have Renfro? I don't think we even had him.
We did. He was out. He was injured.
So now you're coming back to it with now 3 guys who can win on one-on-one. When you're talking about Devontae, Hunter Renfro, and Jacoby Myers. That's 3.
Right.
And now you add a speed element that we didn't have last year with Trey Tucker also. You know what I mean? Now, it's all going to come down to the trenches. But they're saying we're 4-point underdogs. If I'm y'all, I'm taking that 4-point swing. I see us.
I already got my parlays popping.
Yeah,
they got us as underdogs.
Yeah.
Definitely bet.
I'm taking them points. I feel like we can win by a tutty.
Okay.
I'm not even taking the points. I got the money line. We're
winning.
We're gonna flat out beat them. I don't need this game.
I think you're right, Chris. I think we actually will beat them in double digits as well. I mean, we just, it's no different, and I hate to say it and admit it, but hey, it is what it is. It's no different than us losing to the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs got our number. We got the Donkeys number. I don't know who has. I guess the Chargers probably. The Chiefs got everybody's number in our division. Let's just keep it 100. You know what I mean? Like the Chargers have been dominating. But the Chargers are the ones that have been the closest.
They've been the closest to them because the quarterback. It's
quarterback and them 2 receivers he's got with
one thing. Yeah. One thing I always like to remind people, as when we talk about McGlinchey or whatever. Like, this is going to be the guy that's going to be guarding, that's going to be blocking Max. like that's the guy. Honestly, as a grown man, let me ask you guys, as a grown man, can you ever see yourself in that predicament?
No.
I mean, I don't care. Like, even me, if I'm wrestling with Micah Parsons, even my big ass ain't gonna be put in that position.
You're going to the
now, like, he may throw me down, but he ain't gonna do me like that.
And this is the next scary thing. You're talking about Max. We saw our young bull do that to somebody.
That's what I'm saying.
So
this is a guy that's protecting Russell.
If you think Max ain't gonna do it to you, I guarantee you, number 9 will do it to you.
That's sorry, man. There is no. I don't care what nobody say.
Right,
The Rock, The Big Show, The Undertaker, they're not doing that to me, man. And I'm not the toughest dude out there, but you're not doing that to me. No, I'm a grown man.
I agree, bro. I agree.
I'm a grown man. You ain't doing that to me. I don't care what nobody.
Not letting that happen. Yeah, I don't know how he allowed this.
I just had to share that, man.
that's what's up, man. That's dope, bro. that dude is pissed about this picture.
Oh man, like,
There's no coming back from this.
There is no coming back from
I'd
that.
had to just get a penalty flag. Yeah, there's no coming back from
You're
this.
coming down with me. You have to.
No, I mean, I would say I'd be waiting for him after the game, but then again, if this guy does this,
right,
you don't want the game.
You don't want that.
Hope your wife wasn't watching the game. You better hope your wife
wasn't
wasn't watching it. You might get a whole divorce if she was watching this. Man, she'd be like, Mike, this ain't working
no more.
Yeah. She's like, Mike, I feel like you can't protect me if a burglar comes in. If the burglar comes in with some muscles, I feel like you can't protect me.
We're screwed.
Might as well be by myself, homie.
Shout out to Mike, man. Shout out to Mike.
Shout out to
We'll see him in 2 weeks. We'll see him in 2 weeks.
Nah, that's what's up. No, I think we're gonna show out, man. I think this is a special year. I mean, the last game that left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth, but I really do think that we got a special year coming. I think that it's not going to be what we want, but I think it will be that year that people stop laughing at us. I don't think we are any longer the laughing stock of the NFL. I don't think, we'll have that problem. I think we will absolutely be respected after this year. We have not been respected in a long time.
Now, I think we're gonna win this week 1. I'm not gonna say it's a cakewalk, but we're gonna win. It's gonna be difficult. It's week 1. I mean, everybody, working out the kinks and all that.
Speak for yourself. We gonna
we're gonna win, but that week 2 is what I want to see because look,
that's gonna let us know where we're at.
Buffalo don't have Von Miller to start this off. Keep this in mind now. And without Von Miller, Buffalo's defense is a different defense. They're not the same defense. You know what I'm saying? They don't cause as much disruption and havoc as they do when Von Miller's on the field. They really count on him. So not having him, we're gonna see what happens. If you can keep Josh Allen and them off the field, hey, everything's a possibility.
No, that's true. And honestly, I think I'm not gonna say that Peters is what he used to be. But I think Peters with the right pass rush.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Peters can give Diggs some problems.
Yes.
He could give Diggs some problems with the right pass rush. Yeah. Now
why he came. Now
Peters,
he's going in.
He ain't gonna guard people all that long. But you talking about instinct. Now that dude got instinct.
And that's where we're gonna start winning.
Man.
There you go.
We're going to start winning because we're going to actually have pressure on the quarterback now. Even last year was disappointing.
And guys, and that's in the secondary. That's what it is.
Yes. There was no pass rush.
It
was all last year.
You heard it here. Nate Hobbs and Trayvon Morik is going to have bounce back years.
Now Merrick is my watch guy. Now he's
Trigger Trey.
I'm calling him Trigger Trey all season, bro. All season, he better play top notch because if he doesn't,
him Trigger Trey. You gonna be calling Trigger Trey too?
I want to, but I'm on his ass if he don't. I've been. It's too long, bro. It's too long.
I think both of them are going to have breakout years. I think because they're going back to with Hobbs, he's going back to his natural spot. Exactly. He's got Peters on one side. He's got the kid, the rookie on the other side with the 4.3 speed. They all going to have that pass rush. I think you're going to see something different. I think you'll see a lot more takeaways than we've ever had in the past.
Oh, yeah. Strip
just
sacks.
Based on you said. I think Peters is going to take massively advantage of his front line, meaning Max and Jones along with Tyree. I mean, I can see all three of them on the field at the same time. I mean,
NASCAR package.
It's going to be a problem. Oh, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem with two of them on the field, to be honest.
And Aaron at 0 now too, man. That's going to look sweet week 1, man.
Shout out to Randy, man. I like Randy's comment right there, man. What I want from this year is for all the Josh and Dave haters to have to bend the knee.
Everybody that said don't let them sit there and tell you that the Raiders have to win a Super Bowl for them to do that. No. Like, no, bro. Like, you feel me? We just want steady progression. That's all. We won 6 games last year. Anything better than 6 games, if you win 9 games, I'm cool, bro. I'm straight.
Me too. Just steady progression, because they're building the, like my boy Hugh Jackson used to say, we're building a bully, man. And it's not gonna happen overnight, man. We're gonna build a bully.
I agree, and that's what we're doing. I mean, and it takes time, and that you want to build it with the right people, the right pieces.
Correct.
And hey, it doesn't all come overnight. Like you said, it doesn't all come in 1 year, man. You just don't replace everything in 1 year. Right? It's like the maintenance on the car. Once you get your car right, exactly, you take pieces, right? It's the oil change, then it's the tires, right? And then you got to start doing that extra care on the maintenance with the transmission, right? It's no different than a football team. No different.
And I always equate it back to the late great Nipsey Hussle, because I'm a Cali kid. Shout out everybody on the West Side, man. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint, man. You know what time it is at the end of the day. All money in at the end of the day, man. And if you try to get the money too quickly, it can always fall apart quickly as well. As we seeing with everybody in the NFL, Rams, such of that nature. But them long sustaining teams that build it slow and just put in and just get 1% better each year, those are the ones that sustain and have a long lasting, window. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah.
The benchmark, in my opinion, is a decade. The Patriots said it. It is what it is. The bottom line is, you want a team that's going to last a decade. You want to be in the AFC Championship game for a decade. If you're not fighting that fight, you're not right.
Yeah.
Correct.
If you ain't fighting that fight, you ain't right. And that's the bottom line. The Patriots showed the rest of the league how to do it. The Eagles are trying. The 49ers are trying. I think they're doing a damn good job. I personally think the Eagles had the best draft in the league of all teams in the league last draft.
Yeah.
I'm still shocked at the pieces they got.
But I will tell you one thing, though. I mean, the 49ers are, they're good here, but I think that the what's his name, the Trey Lance, the mishap on that, losing them 3 first-round picks, that's going to slowly catch up to him sooner or later.
The only one that don't like the way that the 49ers are running. They're that's
what I'm saying, because it's going to catch up to him, because what's going to happen is Bosa going to break the bank.
If you pay him quarterback money without having that is stupid.
He got it coming. He's going to make quarterback money, and then that's
money.
And then what do you do?
Their mismanagement of that whole quarterback situation. Just even to put it to this point, you could have just had Tom Brady on the cheap because he wanted to go there. Now all of
he wanted to be
whatever. But if you were just gonna do Jimmy how you did Jimmy anyway, right? And you were just go ahead and draft a guy and trade 3 picks away, you might as well have just got Tom. You would have won a Super Bowl already. Damn near.
Yeah, because they're gonna mess up because they think they got their quarterback on the cheap. They're gonna figure out that Purdy's not it, and then they're gonna have to go either try to get another youngin, or they're gonna have to pay somebody.
This is why I love what the Raiders are doing, man, because it's like we got our young guy, but it's not like we traded 3 first-round picks to get him. It's like you really we got him in the 4th round, and even if he's not, which I think is a small shred, but even if he's not the guy, we still have the luxury to be like, well, shit, we can find somebody else if we want to. You know what I mean? Like we're not strapped.
Right. Yep. Because you know, like we got us our quarterback, and we don't got to do the nonsense that a lot of these fans that get on my nerves talking about tanking and all that stuff. You know, we don't need to do none of that garbage. You know what I'm saying?
I don't understand, man. Where did this
team, bro?
Where did these fans come from that do this stupid shit? Now that pisses me off.
When did our fans when did our fans get so lame? Like honestly, I love the Raiders, but we got some lame fans, and I don't know where they came from. I don't know where they came from. They not always be around.
Nah, we never had this many.
Yeah,
we never had social media, right?
I've never seen these.
We've never had this many.
I kept telling, if you're in the contention to get Caleb Williams, that means you were terrible. And this is the whole thing. We can't be in that position. Nobody should be talking about taking when you got guys that like Max Crosby in
their prime.
You Devontae Adams is chasing Jerry Rice. You really think he has years to waste? Right. You don't have no years to waste.
The Cardinals can tank.
Oh, they can do that. Yeah, they can do that.
But no, you don't
select two teams with elite players, with more than one elite player. I think we are considered one of we got two elite players. I don't understand. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Because you talk about Jacobs, Crosby, and
that's right. And Devontae. That's three elite players. Top of the game.
Like, honestly, it makes no sense. Like I just don't know where these fans came from, man. I mean, I think they're like government plants or something.
I hate to say it because I'm part of it, and I hate to say it, but it's the people that's around my age group that's starting to
it's not it's not even that.
Bro. Like, what are y'all saying,
it's
bro?
Old school Raiders too.
Oh, they're saying it too, because I'm like,
it's not only the youngins.
I've seen youngins, and I'm like, bro, you giving us young fans a bad name. I know
it's not just y'all.
Damn, like, come on, bro. Y'all making it seem like we don't know football at all.
Right. A lot of it is y'all. A lot of it is y'all, but not all.
Don't embarrass us like this.
Yeah, our fans, I don't know what's going on. They need a little bit more of an education for sure.
Yeah.
They're starting to regress in a lot of ways. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. It's not healthy.
I mean, Terrence, you've been to the games in Vegas, man. I'm like, why are fans doing the wave? We don't do the Raider fan. We don't do the wave. Man.
What? Yeah,
we don't do the wave. Like why are y'all yelling and loud when we're on offense? I'm like, this is just fandom 101. I'm like, who are these people?
Yeah.
Who are these people?
This is what happens.
They don't know.
You lost for so long. When you lost for so long, there's been no culture, even in the fan base. You feel this is what I've been saying to everybody when they're like, "Oh, we can't give McDaniels credit for culture." I'm like, dog, the team has had no culture, and for 10 years, the fans have had no culture either, because we just swimming around looking for something to hold on to. Now, finally, it's like, we might have some little raft here. You feel what I'm saying? Maybe I want to hold on to it as much as we have. You know what I mean?
Our fans are just such haters. Like these guys try to tell me that, man, McDaniels had nothing to do with Brady becoming great.
That's some of the.
You know what, man? I'm like, honestly, like, look, like
stuff I've ever heard.
Yeah, I'm like, why do you just like? I don't understand. Again, like, if you like Gruden or if you like Carr, that's fine. You could still big up Carr, but you don't got to pull someone else down. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? Like, like just because you love Gruden, you don't got to pull down McDaniels. It don't got to be either or, man. So
like for you to say that he has nothing to do with Tom Brady.
Nothing. They say nothing.
You're very naive, man or woman. Like no.
According to them, Tom made McDaniels.
Stop.
I'm like, look, I'm a Michigan fan. I'm a Michigan fan. I literally watch Tom Brady ever since he was a freshman. He's always been, you know what I'm saying? He was mid then. I mean, he got better. He's competitive, but most real Michigan fans, in fact, all real Michigan fans remember, we wanted Tom to hurry up and get out the way so we can let the young boy Drew Henson. If anyone remembers that era, we wanted young Drew Henson to come in. We were like, Tom, go, man, get out the way. Get out the way.
Nobody saw that coming. You know what I mean? McDaniel's mind, like Jacob said when he signed, is one of the best offensive minds in the league. Now, where people get it switched up and can't differentiate the two is, yes, he's a great offensive mind, but he's not the best situational play caller. He's just not. You know what I mean? And that's where he has to change the narrative. Once he starts changing that narrative, from the point where it's like, okay, you know, now you're better situationally, then he's going to be regarded overall as a better head coach.
Well, the truth is he's exactly what you just said, a head coach, and now it's more about teaching and giving the guys the skills in the game for that and trusting that they're going to do the right things based on what you've taught them. And that's where I'll be honest. I'll be the first to admit that I felt like there was a little bit of a setup when it came to the way that things were going when it comes
you
to
was a conspiracy. You was a tin foil hat dude.
Yeah, well,
what
I mean by that is I wasn't too trusting in the coordinator, right? Because see, this is the problem that we have. Who was calling the plays? Is it Josh McDaniels or is it his offensive coordinator? Which one is it? Somebody's got to take the.
Yeah,
well, that's the thing. That's the thing. You got to figure that out, man, because there was some very questionable play calls, and again, I put it on Carr and the coach because the bottom line is the reality is that the quarterback should have the ability to change the play, right? And if he's not doing that properly based on what he's seeing out there, that's on the quarterback. You know what I mean?
I think Carr was another product of, although he's good and nobody's saying he wasn't good. And I hate talking about this because he gets people in their feelings. But at the end of the day, there were certain traits about Carr as a quarterback that does not fit in this McDaniel system. It don't.
Right.
And the number one that drove me wild was that Carr was not good in the red zone. He just was not. And that's why we consistently lost the games we lost, because he was not good in the red zone. And that's
the worst.
You feel me? Now, I think that's probably going to get better with Jimmy G. It's just going to get better with Jimmy G because
it flips.
A different way.
It literally flips.
Yep. It literally does.
Yep.
It literally does.
And if we're better in the red zone, how many more games do we?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They counted 6 last year, right? There were 6 games that we could have easily won.
Yep.
I think we win those 6 games this year. Our only problem
12 games. Like, come on, bro. Yeah.
And plus, anyone that's real competitive understands that winning is a mindset.
Yes.
One thing about Jimmy, he wins a lot, and people may not want to give him credit. They want to say, hey, it's the defense or the X, Y, and Z. But the thing is, you got a quarterback that in his mind expects to win.
Yes.
He expects to win because he's a winner. He expects to win. When he's out there, he's expecting to win. And that is a mindset that, I mean, one thing about the Raiders and a lot of bad teams is you got to learn how to win even when you probably shouldn't. That's the difference. But, you know, an example was, you know, that Chiefs game. Even while we were watching that Chiefs game, the first game, we're watching it like, man, we're doing good. But something in the back of my head was like, we probably shouldn't win this game. And then all of a sudden we start seeing KC like, well, this is kind of what I expected, because it's like, you feel me? Like I felt good, but something was just like, I'm about to
this is one thing that we continuously saw, right? And this is why I say it was a mindset thing. And like you're saying, it's a mindset thing too. Why it felt like every time we got these leads, it felt like, that's
here we go. Yep.
It's like, okay, that's good enough. Like we can keep our foot off their necks. Like we
got
but think about this. Whose personality was like that? Our quarterback's personality was like that. It's good enough. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm just cool enough being cool. We can't have that shit. Not when you have someone on the other side who's like, nah, we're gonna come back on y'all, and you know, we're gonna
win. Because he was all about moral victories. Because in fact, that's when McDaniels, you know, according to, and I respect Hondo, man. I like Hondo. And just like he said, like on that bus home, you know, Carr was just like almost like it was like a moral victory. We played them good. Good job, guys. You know,
that pissed me off.
Yeah, and McDaniels is like, what? We just lost. What are you talking about? Like,
that would have made me
just being competitive with the Chiefs is not good enough, man.
And this is what I say to everybody who's that type of supporter. If you play sports, right? If you've played sports, you sit there, and if you just lost and you get on the bus and somebody blurts out their mouth, we almost had him. That was good enough. I know what I'm gonna say.
That's not my leader no more.
Sit down, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
that's not my leader.
Like, I'm gonna look at him crazy. So at the end of the day, I don't want nobody leading me like that if that's how you think. I don't.
Right. Nope. No, I agree. Yeah, the mindset is everything. I mean, you have to learn how to win. I mean, that's the thing. People don't understand. You can have everything till you're blue in the face, but if you don't have a bunch of people that just know how to win,
there you go.
Yeah, it's a mind. And honestly, like
that's a skill in itself. It's a skill in itself.
Exactly.
To just know you're going in and you're going to win. You don't even. It's not even. You can't even fathom the loss. Like
even
like, when you lose, it don't even hit you yet because it's like, yeah, we always win. Like
right.
It's just
like you know a good example is I don't know if you guys watched the Swamp King.
I gotta watch
Netflix.
I gotta watch it.
Oh, did you see it, Terrence?
I watched it last night. You talking about with Tim Tebow?
Yeah. But the one thing that stuck out at me was when Tebow said, even as a little kid, like his coach was like, "Hey guys, it's not about winning, it's about having fun." And Tebow, as a kid, was like, "Nah, coach, you're wrong.
I'm trying to win." Like,
you're wrong. It's only about winning. But it's silly as it sounds. And we all played when we were young, and there was a lot of kids that were like that. They just wanted their little, juice pack and oranges after the game and cookies. So like there was like my little butt out there wanted to win. Like certain players out that day, like, we gotta win. Like, what do you mean it doesn't care? I don't want this participation trophy. Keep it. You keep it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and honestly, in the Tebow, and that's why Tebow was so great. In college, he was such a competitor. And honestly, and I ain't gonna lie, seeing that documentary made me understand why Josh McDaniels really wanted him. He may not have all the skills, but that mindset is exactly what Josh McDaniels wants.
You can't teach that.
You can't teach that.
Yeah.
You can't teach that. Shout out to Tebow, man.
Yeah. I gotta watch that. I'm gonna check into that.
Oh, no, check into that, man. That had me fired. I thought that was good.
It's dope. Had me want to go get my cleats, man.
OG was about to put the helmet on.
I was ready like that old man. I don't know if y'all saw that old man. He went out and played for somebody. I forget what college, but 50-year-old man was out.
Like Al Bundy,
man.
Yes, sir. All right, gentlemen. Well, hey, I've talked about everything I wanted to, man. Y'all got anything else you want to wrap up before we get out of here? Please let me know. This was a fabulous show.
It was.
We got plenty of them to come. Like I say, we'll add somewhere. One of us in the network, right? I'm considering us all a network at this point.
Oh, we are, man.
One of us from this network, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to absolutely get a fantasy day kicked off. Clearly, we going, teeter it way towards Raiders, but for the most part, obviously talk about all of them out there. But yeah, man, this is I'm loving what we got going on, man. We gotta shape these fans back into the right direction, man. They've been lost for so long. We gotta get them back to the right, get them back right and center.
And rundown. It's on you to get them youngins. Get them youngins together. Your young generation. Get them. You got to work on them, man.
Hey, they already know. I'm gonna lead the way, man.
Lead the way, man.
About the real. So at the end of the day,
lead the way. Get them together, man.
We're not sitting here for no social media drama. We're not sitting here for clickbait. We're gonna tell you the real.
Real
money while still being real. That's what's gonna happen.
Absolutely. This is what we talk. Hey, I love Chris. That's one of the things I love you say, man. Go on and give him your line, man. Right? It's gonna be authentic, right? How do you go?
Yeah, just my opinions may not always be popular, but they'll always be authentic, man. Always, and I'm real enough to say, hey, I was wrong about it. And that's why I love you, Terrence, because me and you are both like that. We're like, we feel strong about something, but we're gonna keep it real. If just like me, I love Josh McDaniels, but hey, during that Waller thing and that Josh Jacobs thing, I'm like, hey, this dude's tripping, man. Like I call it how it is, man.
Absolutely.
I'm not married to none of this, man.
Absolutely. All I'm married to is the shield, my dude.
Exactly.
Hey, that's why we protect the shield, baby.
Married to the shield.
Yes, sir.
Married to.
That's it.
All right, gentlemen. It was live.
Appreciate you for having me on, man.
Yes, sir. Raider Nation. We'll see y'all the next run. We out.
We out.